All right. Hello, welcome back to another surprise episode of Off the Hosel, a podcast built on sand. A little bit different today. I'm going to take this one solo. Dan usually drives the boat, and I'm along for the ride. But the last probably 3-4 days have really gotten the juices flowing. I got Hackers Cup fever, and what better way to cure the fever than a podcast? So we're gonna do something a little different today, a little special. Gonna go through some stats ahead of the tournament next weekend. Was looking through some numbers and putting together some things, and thought it'd be fun, interesting to go through player by player and see where our games are trending, at least according to the gin, and maybe some strengths and some weaknesses for players across the board. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. This could be a complete disaster. I'm also behind the producing and editing chair for the first time, so I don't know if this is even going to work, but let's give it a shot. So we're going to go through, like I said, we're going to go through each player today and look at some numbers from the gin. Is it gin or gin? I'm not sure. I think Yip Strickler would correct me and say gin. I've always said gin. I think the GH makes it a soft, more J sounding versus the hard G. So we're gonna go with gin for the episode. You guys can correct me, or maybe we'll go back through and AI edit every time I say gin. We'll fix it to gin. So we're gonna go player by player. We're going to start with tap and triples, and this is in no particular order other than alphabetical. Let's get into it. All right. I hope this is working. I should be sharing some numbers and some information. So I'll skip ahead. This is all information uh, from the gin this morning. This morning was July 18th. So anybody that's playing Saturday, posting a score, won't be reflected in these numbers. So the other part is you'll notice as I'm kind of clicking through some of these players here, uh, it's very inconsistent in how things come out of the gin. Some give exact dates, some give just months and years. And then course information is or isn't available. So um, it's mostly consistent, but best I could do. So we're gonna start off with a I believe an original hacker member, Alex Bina. Um, he's coming into the tournament at an 11 index. Um, last 5, last 10, last 20 are all pretty consistent in between 13.2 and 13.6 for average. Um, Other side index, I haven't really, this isn't really anything new. It's basically, the other side of your latest 20 scores, um, average of your worst 12, basically. So, um, the higher the difference between your other side and your current obviously means when things go south, they really go south. Um, so Bina's coming into the weekend with a 15.4 other side index. So, pretty consistent. Um, I think some of Alex's strengths are, he's pretty consistent. Um, he doesn't really get too high, too low on the course. I played against him last year, singles at Sand Valley. That might have been our first Hackers Cup matchup of all time. Um, he took me down, I believe, 2 up. So he had me dormy on 18T. We had already had the cup wrapped up, so I kind of got greedy and paid the price for going for the green and 2 on 18 at Sam Valley, and carded a beautiful double bogey to lose the match 2 down. Um, Weaknesses for Bina, I would say, he gets tired. It's tough being old. It's tough watching over, 15 children this weekend. So, um, it'll be interesting Sunday, especially that afternoon round to see, how Alex is holding up. Um, what did he do the night before? How much did he indulge? Um, did he get a good night's sleep? Did he have a good lunch, breakfast? Did he get his electrolytes in the morning? So, um, will be interesting to see how Alex does over the weekend. The one very interesting thing is if you can see, he's got a 28 recorded in his latest 20 scores for a differential of 9.5, and I think it's just important to know that I'm curious where that round was played. Like, were we at Pirates Cove and Wisconsin Dells, and did you shoot that on the front nine of the mini golf course, or gonna need some answers there from you, Alex, at some point. But yeah, pretty good dispersion here. It looks like the game's trending pretty nicely and getting a little more consistent over his last few rounds. So um, that's Alex Bina. Next, we have Boda, Austin Swoboda. Current index of 1.8 and another side of 5.5. So we're seeing a lot of other side indexes kind of at about a difference of 4 versus their current index. Boda's record all time 1-3-3 in the Hackers Cup. I have not played against Boda. I've played a lot of golf with Boda though. When this guy has it, he has it. Complete game. Um, Guy can hit fairways. He's as solid as anybody with his iron play. Where Boda's most dangerous though, and I think we all know this, is around and on the green. Uh, when that flat stick is going, he's tough to beat. Um, and he's got great touch with a wedge in his hand from just about anywhere around the green. So Austin's going to be a tough one this weekend. He's a fighter. He's got a great game. Weaknesses. Um, I think as long as the heat index stays below 100, I think Boda doesn't really have too many weaknesses. I did see him getting a little quick the last time we played together, so if that swing starts getting disconnected, he can get all over the place. But I think as long as that heat index stays below 100, he's going to have a good weekend. All right, Ben Hanvelt, coming into the weekend at a 13-2. Um, his other side index is up at 19.7, so a little bit more of a gap, about a 6.5 point gap there between his other side and his current. Um, his last 5 seem to be, at least around a point better on average than um, his last 10 and last 20, but he does have a couple pretty high numbers there. He's got a 27 differential from back in April, so probably kicking well, actually, you know what? I'm looking at that score should be a 101. I cut off the 1 when I did this table. So Ben, sorry to highlight this. That 27 differential should be a 101. Um, but he's I think if you throw that aside and you kind of look off to the right, his previous round, he's got an 8.8 at Turtleback and 82. So don't let this guy get hot. I think Ben's strength is his competitiveness, and that competitiveness is going to come through, especially this weekend with captaincy next to his name this year. Um, Weaknesses, I don't know. I mean, I've seen Ben fold like a lawn chair down the stretch against me. So if we get matched up again this year, I'll be curious to see if he's gotten a steadier base, or if he again blunders again down the stretch with a bit of a lead on me. Um, we'll see how that goes. Christian, so coming into the weekend with the 22 and a half, an other side index of 27. So this is a pretty consistent player we have here for the weekend. Um, I think strength wise, Christian, I've played against him once. It was him and Birchie. I believe we went all square in that one. That was at Eagle Ridge South. Um, Christian can be dangerous when you're walking to the first tee with a bag of Sour Patch Kids with as many pieces of candy on the scorecard for him. Um, you can be dangerous. Double bogeys can win holes. Bogeys can definitely win holes. And he makes a par, he's almost guaranteed to win the hole. So this guy's dangerous. His weakness is, I don't know. I mean, th- things could get maybe a little too heavy for him. Um, Maybe he gets a little distracted. Say he gets distracted, or his hair doesn't look quite the way he wants it to look that day, or shirt's a little tight, shirt's a little loose, and isn't properly showing off that chiseled stature. Um, might cause some problems for him. So, I think he's going to have to make sure everything is as tidy as it can be heading into the weekend, and this guy's going to be trouble. First round matchup for me. Um, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking past it. Dan, co-host, co-host, host of mine, partner, hosting partner of mine. I'm kind of winging it. Can you tell? Um, Dan's coming into the weekend with a 2.3. Played with him a few days ago. Um, Dan's swing looks good. Dan's swing has always looked good. Um, Strengths top to bottom. He's got a good game. Um, since he's gotten his lab putter, I've noticed from when I've played with him or what I've seen in the last couple of hackers. I think the last hacker, as well as us playing together a few days ago. Um, his putting looks a lot better, and Dan's always been uh, a consistent ball striker. He's good with the wedge in his hand. Um, when he gets into scoring range, he's going to score. Um, I think his weakness is maybe something that caused him to relinquish his captaincy this year, as he's maybe gets a little wrapped up in some of the distractions that come with and came with being team captain and organizing the event. So, um, outside of that, I know that there's plenty of guys on on our side of this competition that can push his buttons. So, um, for Dan to play well, he's going to need to bring that complete game like he normally does, but he's also going to need to keep it between the ears as well. And I don't know if he's going to wear earplugs, but I know he's going to have some birds chirping in his ears throughout the weekend. So we'll see how he battles through that. Well, we should also point out too, quite a dip here. We have a -1 differential fired in last October. I can't see which course that was. Um, that's a great score, Dan. Would have been nice for you to have been able to drop that off ahead of the weekend, I'm sure. So you'll be thank you for carrying that one into the weekend. How honorable. All right, Walker. Walker's going to come into the weekend 7.9, at least that's where he's at today. His other side index is a 12, so kind of in that same 4-stroke spread of uh, of the other side, the worst 12 scores of the last 20. Um, Walker's strengths is, I think, right between his ears. If there's a guy that you're not going to rattle, it's him. And he's the only guy I've ever played against that will actively root for your ball to roll past the hole or bounce into the hazard or whatever it is. He's not going to hold back. So, um, I actually thought it was hilarious. I could see where that could get under some guy's skin, but I think too he's got a really consistent swing. Um, you know where that thing's going. He plays that fade really nicely. He's a lefty too, so can throw you off watching a lefty swing maybe the first couple holes. So that's an interesting factor here. Um, Weakness. I'm not really sure of a weakness right here. It's a pretty consistent game. He is carrying a 4.2 with him into the weekend, a 4.2 differential, which is pulling his index down quite a bit. So maybe a little bit, maybe playing a little under where he should be, but appreciate the honor there of also carrying a low index into the weekend. I can say that I carried a negative zero point 0.5 differential into Sand Valley last year. Um, and I've since dropped that off. And I will also be make sure to be a little critical of myself here when we get to me. So, um, I it, don't take it personally, or do. I'm not really sure how you want to handle it. But yeah, I think overall, Walker's a tough opponent. The record says otherwise, but um, when I've matched up against him, I've been really impressed with how he showed up in a lot of these competitions. So be interesting to see how Walker plays this weekend. Berger, competitor, Rob Berger, tough. Um, Another guy for tapping triples that's really just got a complete game. Um, and has really you could tell taken time to work on his short game, his putting over the last few seasons. The putter joke is real. It's very common to see Rob, but less common lately, but common to see Rob with a new putter, not new, different, maybe new putter in his bag each time you play with him. Um, but I mean, the guy hits it a mile. Um, he's really dialed in his iron and wedge game. Um, he's not afraid to face anything head on. Um, Weakness, we can get a little wild off the tee. Um, I think he'd admit that. And if the flat stick does get out of control, we're gonna see different putters over the weekend, and it, it it usually doesn't go well for him when that putter's not rolling. But um, Rob's gonna be tough. His 9-5-1 record speaks for itself. Guy's a competitor. We had a great singles match last year at Sedge. Came down to 18, and I'm pretty sure I chili dipped one in the green side bunker on 18, and we ended up going all square. So Rob's going to be tough. He always is, and we'll see which putter shows up. Last one here, Birchie. Birch, another consistent golfer here, solid game top to bottom, tee to green. Coming in with a 2.6 index, other side index a 7.4. So not too bad of a spread there, almost 5 points. But really, um, that's a little bit skewed. You see the 13.7 differential here um, on a recent round. So I would think that other side is going to be a little closer into his actual index should that 13.7 not be on here. Um, but Birch has a nice game, plays a beautiful draw off the tee. Um, Top to bottom, irons, wedges, putters. This guy's got it. Um, his weakness, obviously, It's been addressed on other podcasts. I'm not going to go there. We won't bring that up again. I think between the ears, though, this guy's got some buttons that can get pushed, and I've seen those buttons get pushed, whether he pushes them himself or it's from external influences. So, um, we'll see how Birchie can manage that through the weekend. Because it's going to be important. He's going to be a big part of if Team Tap and Triples wants to have any success and get that cup back after 3 straight losses. He's going to have to be a big part of it. So done with the bad guys. We're going to move on to the good guys. First here, we have Colton Ellis. Colton coming into the weekend with a 7.6, and other side of 12.2. So just under 5, about 4.5, 5 points of difference there. Overall THC record 7-3-3. That's a strong record. I like where his game is trending coming in. That kind of red trend line shows which direction he's going. He's got a couple higher pops in there, but doesn't concern me at all. Strengths, this guy's an athlete. He knows how to get it done. He's a competitor. He can sink putts when he's hot. Hits the ball a mile. He's going to be a weapon this weekend. I can feel it. Weaknesses. I think this for both the Ellis brothers. They may struggle a little bit making right turns in the golf cart. Left turns they can make all day, but right turns are a little foreign to them. So might be good for them just to be passengers for the whole weekend. Yeah, I'd say Colton just keep on making left turns and maybe let someone else drive if there's a right turn coming up. Colton Sirik, captain, El Capitan. Colton's coming into the weekend 1.9. His other side index is a 6.9. I know Colton was battling a bit of an injury bug earlier this year. His game has recovered nicely from that. So, I'll drop my phone, cut that out, AI, and start recording. Game's trending nice coming into this year. He played with him a few days ago. Guy's just got a beautiful swing. His tempo's great. He's consistent off the tee. And when he doesn't have it off the tee, this guy can scramble with the best of them. Can turn just about any tee shot into a par that doesn't go out of play. And if he needs to around the greens, he'll pull it together and pull some just magical chips out of his hat. Weaknesses, I'm not so sure. Physically, is his body, going to hold up through the weekend coming off an injury that he had over the off season and kind of battled through the spring and early summer? I don't have any worries about it. I think Colton carries a lot on his shoulders being captain, but so far that hasn't shown to be a burden for him. So I think record wise 7-6-2. Also part of the original Hackers Cup crew. Lot of experience under his belt, both wins and losses. Guy knows how to battle. So he's going to be a big part of our success this weekend. Next we got Jake. So Jake's coming in at a 9. I know this is going to piss at least 8 of you guys off. Jake's coming in the weekend at a 9. His other side index is at 15.4. When it's bad, folks. I've seen it. I've seen the guy can't even find the county he's playing in off the tee. We've all seen it where he's standing over a 3-footer, takes the putter head back and stops his putt, stops his swing, backs off. He's all over the place. That's the Jake we know. And that's how he is. One thing that's consistent about Jake is he's a gamer. When the spotlight's on, when the high noons are flowing, when the money's being passed between carts and scorecards, this guy comes to play. He's got the best win percentage all time in Hackers Cup. A guy hits it a mile when he catches it. Home course advantage. I'm not sure he's going to be in one of the fast carts this weekend, but if he is, look out. And I think Jake just brings a great attitude. He's the lead by example for very average golfers. I mean, the way he carries himself in competition is amazing. Weakness, got to go with the putter. Got to go with the putter. I mean, it's been better, but his track record with that golf club in his hand is interesting. I've seen it great. I've seen it not great. And when it's not great, it's really not great. So I think Jake's going to bring a lot of fire into the weekend. Competitively, he's going to piss a lot of guys off. That's just how he is. But there's one thing I know: this guy's going to come in and have a great Hackers Cup, another great Hackers Cup. Jordan, we're planning to have Jordan on here in a few days. I'm going to let him address some of the shade that's been thrown his way so far leading up to the tournament. We're going to talk about Jordan's game here. I've been paired with Jordan twice in Hackers Cup, and those are the only 2 times we played together. From what I've seen, he's got a consistent game when it's on. I think that showed last year, especially with some of the play he had at Sand Valley. He was a huge reason we came out on top last year, playing some really good, really tough golf, scrambling for pars, putting well. When this guy's putting well, he's putting well. He's got a pretty smooth, consistent swing. So when his game's there, it's there. I would say weakness-wise, Jordan's going to have to put up with a lot of shit mentally this weekend. Between the iron covers, between the sandbagging allegations, we're going to be there for him. We're going to be in his corner, but it's going to be up to him to manage some of that himself. I didn't even mention the index here. Let me get to the index. He's coming at a 5.3. His other side index is an 11.9. So we got about a little over a 6 differential there, which kind of shows when it's off, it's off. He's got a 21.8 differential posted here, 91. Might have been his first round after the baby was born. I'm not sure. Probably running on no sleep. I'm not going to worry about that one. All right, we got Noah. Mr. Nice Guy, coming in to the weekend, 16.2. His other side's a 20.8, so pretty consistent. Can get a little wild, can get a little high, scoring wise, but overall, this guy's going to kill you with kindness, almost to the point where it's probably going to be annoying. I think we're gonna have to make sure Noah has what he needs. He's not going to be familiar with the courses we're playing this weekend. He's got a lot of guys in his corner that know these courses, know where to hit the ball, know where the greens go. Noah's going to have a great weekend. In fact, he might have such a good weekend, he may be inspired to go up and put some fires out up north, so we can play without all the smoke in our lungs and in our eyes, so we can actually see our golf balls. Um, Another lefty too. The lefty thing kind of throws you off for a few holes. Um, at least me, it's kind of like uh, you know, I think back to like maybe youth basketball or youth hockey, and um, guy's a lefty and comes out and just starts draining threes or dangling around everybody, and you just can't really even comprehend how their body swings that way. One thing about lefties though is their swing always looks prettier than a righty, I've thought. So um Noah also just going to be a positive attitude guy no matter what happens. He's going to be great for us this weekend. I'm looking forward to Noah having a great appearance at THC 2026. Um, it's going to be a battle. He's going to come out on top of a few matchups this year. I can feel it. Yours truly up next. I might take a little heat for this. I'm ready for it. I'm coming in at a 6.2. Um, Last year at Sand Valley, I was coming in at a 3.9. Hand up, I soft capped earlier this year. I'm not proud of it. It's a game of honor. Um, it's a game of integrity. And I have not been playing up to the level that I was playing at the last couple years consistently. Um, I've had some good rounds. I've had some stinkers this year. I think that kind of goes for everyone, but one thing is you're gonna get every round I play posted, good, bad, ugly. Um, and if anybody else has any other questions on the matter, please send them to questions at offthehosel at gmail.com. Thank you. Uh, Other side index is at a 10. And my overall record is 4-4-3. If my math is right, that's 500. A 500 record. So, kind of right down the middle. Had a really tough go at Sand Valley last year. Um, Battling a little bit of heat exhaustion. Um, my bad as well. Not prepared. Um, Felt a lot better the next day thanks to some tips from guys around, a lot of electrolytes, applesauce. Really that first day I was just pounding water. So I was in trouble from the start. Um I I I need to have a good year this year. I need to show up for the team. These guys carried me around Lido last year. I'm lucky to have a win under my belt with that performance I put on at Sand Valley. Um I think strength wise, for myself, feeling really good with getting off the tee this year. Um, been hitting the driver really well. Um, Putting has also been pretty strong this year. Let's say weakness wise, kind of a head case right now with a wedge and an iron in my hand, and maybe this is therapeutic for me to get this out into the world, but um, I'm getting a little quick with irons and wedges, and something I'm going to try to work on here over the next week as much as I can. Been getting a little quick, chunky, thinny, pushy. Um, I just need to stay focused on tempo. Um, I like to be uh, a solid teammate, solid guy, good locker room guy, good picking up teammates, encouraging. I don't always do that for myself. Everyone's seen it. Just had a great club throw a couple days ago with Dan and Sirik and Boda, followed by the head cover throw. Um, I can get upset. Um, and I'll just remember to keep Professor Birch's advice in mind, and also I'll keep my emotions in check for the weekend, and I'm looking forward to having a big weekend uh for Hackers Cup 26. All right, last one. Zach Ellis coming into the weekend at an 11.1. His other side is a 15.8. So uh just under a 5 differential there between his current and his other side. Record of 6-8-1. Um, I know Zach would love to see himself tilt towards that positive win percentage, and I think he's going to do it this year. He's got a great first round matchup. I think him and Jake are going to feed off each other really well, um, and he's gonna get his Hackers Cup off to a great start Saturday morning. Um, Strengths, swings 1,000 miles an hour. It's almost mind boggling as an opponent to Zach, I'm sure, to see where he's lined up versus where that ball ends up. Um, that guy trusts his swing. He knows what he's got and he plays it. Uh, consistent scoring. You know what you're getting out of Zach. He's also probably uh, has the loudest and biggest JBL speaker I've ever seen in my life. Um, so that's gonna be a problem for the bad guys for tapping triples. If you don't like country music, you're not gonna like playing against Zach Ellis because you're gonna hear it louder than anything you've heard before. Um, Weakness wise, again, it's right turns. Those Ellis brothers, they for whatever reason, they just struggle making right turns. So whoever's playing with Zach, Jake, you probably want to take the driver's seat for the first round, and only let Zach make left turns. Um, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. I think that's it, guys. Again, this was a quick one. I thought would be fun to do. Hopefully get you guys laughing, get you excited about our weekend coming up. I'm looking forward to it so much. It's one of the highlights of the summer. I think this year's extra special with us being local, home stomping grounds for a lot of us. And yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna try to get in one more episode here before we're all together next weekend. So with that, thanks for listening. If you're playing today, hit them straight. If you're playing anytime between now and then, hit them straight. And if you're playing for the other team Saturday morning, left is a bad miss. Don't hit it left on one at Wildridge. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you're following along during that episode, you may have noticed that only 15 of the 16 players were covered. That's my bad. I went through the list of all of us on the gin, and we have one member of Hackers Cup who remains ginless. We can maybe talk about that another time, but I do need to spend a couple minutes talking about the last member of Team Very Average Golfers, Mr. AC. And speaking of AC, my AC unit is running right now. It's a pretty nice, calm Sunday morning here in northern Wisconsin. A little bit of smoke coming down from the fires, it looks like. So that'll be an interesting development to follow today. Let's talk about AC. AC is coming in. This may be up for debate. Coming in last year playing at an 8.1, so we're going to hold him there for purposes of this segment. Not sure where we want to put him, but I think 8.1 is probably pretty fair. From my understanding, AC hasn't been spending too much time with the sticks lately. He's a busy dude. He's got a wife and kids and a family, a big job. But you know what doesn't change is this guy's just a teammate. He's a baller. He's exactly who you want riding next to you in that cart, and exactly who I want riding next to me Saturday morning to get my weekend started. Some strengths. I mean, this guy, when he's got it, he's got it. Attitude's always there. He's going to be positive. He's going to pick you up. Like I said, he's a teammate. He's a locker room guy, and he's going to do what he needs to do to get the job done. He's also, through blood and through mentality and through some brain games, very, very good at pushing the buttons of his brother, Dan. Always going to be an interesting element to see how that plays out. Think that we get some previews of that through every now and then he'll chime in the group chat. Pretty quiet, but when he talks, it matters. And usually he's throwing shade at his brother. So, AC, let's keep that up. Weaknesses, zero. Zero weaknesses. Kid's going to go low, 4 for 4, starting out Saturday morning, putting the hurt on Christian and Bina. So, I was about to hit publish on this thing, and I realized I forgot to talk about Alex. So, that's my bad. It kind of happens on a whim. I decided to record this thing yesterday, and going through all of the names and numbers that I had pulled together, I missed them. So there you have it. We have all 16 guys profiled in this episode. Hope you enjoy. Hope you guys have a great Sunday and a great week building up to THC 2026. Later.